Live from the Sports and Recreation Center on the campus of the College of Staten Island. Tonight we'll have NCAA Division III men's volleyball. This is Joe Foreman on the air for CSI Sportsnet, and I'll have the call of tonight's matchup between the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island and the Panthers of Purchase College. The Dolphins come into tonight's action with a record of 1-3. They are 1-1 in the CUNYAC Conference, and the Panthers come in with a record of 3-2. They are a member of the Skyline Conference. And while we have some time before starting lineups and the national anthem, I'll take a look at how each of these teams got here. As I mentioned, the Dolphins come in with a record of 1-3. This is their third home match of the season. The first two of their home matches came against number 16 ranked LaSalle and NJCU. Both of those losses in straight sets, 3-0. The home opener of the 2017 season for the Dolphins, as I just mentioned, was played against LaSalle College. They dropped that match in straight sets, 25-11, 25-20, and 25-13. The second set was the strongest of the three sets for the Dolphins. I believe they actually had a lead in that second set before LaSalle came storming back and won the set by 5 points. It was a big night for the Dolphins. Mark Palencia, who led the Dolphins with 9 kills, but Jancy Soto's 10 kills for the Lasers was just too much for the Dolphins to overcome. The Dolphins attacked very poorly in the first and third set. The second set was easily the best set of the night for the Dolphins. The Dolphins also had fewer errors in that second set than either the first or the third set. They had 6 errors in the first set and 9 errors in the third set, as opposed to only 1 in the second set, which really shows what this team can do if they play a more clean game, and we'll see if they can do that here tonight against the Panthers team that looks as if it'll be a very tough opponent. As for the Panthers, their first match of the season was played against CUNYAC member the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. The Bulldogs defeated the Panthers by a score of 3-1. Brooklyn College winning the first and second sets before dropping the third set to the Panthers and winning a fourth set to take the match, as I just mentioned, 3-1. As I also mentioned, the Bulldogs of Brooklyn College are a member of the CUNYAC Conference and a team that the Dolphins did play this season. The Dolphins dropped that match 3-0. But however, that was the Dolphins' third match of the season. In their second match of the season, they took on New Jersey City University once again, and for the second straight match, they dropped it 3-0, 25-22, 25-19, and 25-15. The Dolphins attacked slightly better in this match than they did against LaSalle. However, it wasn't enough. Mark Palencia once again led the Dolphins in kills with 12 in this match. Adil El-Haddad with 20 assists led the Dolphins in that category, but 15 kills by Christian Ramirez, 13 by Julian Morea, and 8 by Jonathan Andrews of NJCU was just too much for the Dolphins, who fell to 0-2 following that defeat at the hands of the Gothic Knights. The Gothic Knights improved to 2-5 following that win over the Dolphins. So the Dolphins 0-2 through their first 2 matches of the season. Purchase College, however, was 0-1 following their first match. They evened up their record at 1-1 in their second match, that matchup against NJCU. So a team that the Dolphins saw. The Dolphins, as I just mentioned, fell to NJCU 3-0. However, Purchase was able to take care of NJCU in straight sets, winning the match 3-0 by scores of 25-17, 25-22, and 25-23. For Purchase, Kevin Cargus led them in kills. Andrew Schwab had 10 kills. Cargus had 11 to lead the Panthers, and DeMerrill Riley had 5 kills as well. The assist leader was DeMerrill Riley, who had 18 assists in that match. And, excuse me, the correct name is Riley DeMerrill. Excuse me for that miscorrect use of his name. I had the first and last name switched. So it's Riley DeMerrill who led in assists for the Panthers as both teams get set to line up for the playing of the national anthem. The announcement of the starting lineups I'll continue until the horn sounds, signaling the beginning of our pregame introduction. So for the Dolphins, as I mentioned before, they took part. I didn't actually mention they were in a tri-match. That match against Brooklyn College that I referred to earlier was part of a tri-match. The Dolphins won the other part of that tri-match 3-0 over the Cougars of Medgar Evers College. With the loss to Brooklyn College, their record dropped to 1-3. So a victory over Medgar Evers College, the sole victory for the Dolphins this season. Losses to Brooklyn College, NJCU, and LaSalle make up the Dolphins' 1-3 record. The Panthers, as I mentioned before, come in 3-2 on the season. And I'll step aside for just a moment for the playing of the national anthem, so we'll be right back. I apologize for the abrupt interruption as the teams were ready to get started a bit early, still over 3 minutes on the clock, when each team lined up at opposite ends of the floor for the national anthem and introduction of starters. So as I was saying, just quickly running down how each of these teams got here, the Dolphins come into tonight 1-3. As I mentioned before, a sole victory for them over Medgar Evers and losses to LaSalle College, NJCU, and Brooklyn College. The Panthers of Purchase College come in with a record of 3-2. They were defeated by Brooklyn College and own victories over New Jersey City University and CCNY, as well as Lehman. So that's 3 CUNYAC teams that the Panthers have defeated on the season. They'll look to continue that success against the CUNYAC Conference tonight against the Dolphins, and their second loss of the season was against Wilkes University. That match, I should say, a 3-2 defeat, so a very close back and forth match between Wilkes University and the Panthers of Purchase College. As the Dolphin starters are introduced, I'll share those starters with you. Number 1, Adil El-Haddad, the first starter for the Dolphins. The second starter for CSI is number 2, Jay Guo. Also starting for the Dolphins is number 8, Brandon Lay. Mark Palencia, number 9, the Dolphins' fourth starter. Number 13, Daniil Kukovitsky, fifth Dolphins starter. Anthony Vigilante wearing number 14, starting for the Dolphins as well. He'll be their sixth starter, and the libero for the Dolphins will be number 6, Ronald Tisby. That is the starting lineup for Dolphins head coach Jason Madsen as they prepare to take the court against the Panthers of Purchase College momentarily. So once again, the starters for the Dolphins: El-Haddad, Guo. The libero is Ronald Tisby, Brandon Lay, Mark Palencia, Daniil Kukovitsky, and Anthony Vigilante. Those are the starters for the Dolphins tonight. And in just a few moments, those will be the players who take the court for CSI against the Panthers of Purchase College as both teams prepare to meet at the net, and they'll exchange pleasantries before we get underway here tonight. The Dolphins will look to end the success of the Panthers against the CUNYAC Conference. Purchase, as I mentioned before, 3-0 against the CUNYAC Conference, 2-1 against the CUNYAC Conference, a defeat at the hands of Brooklyn College and wins over CCNY and Lehman College. So once again, Purchase 2-1 against the CUNYAC Conference, not 3-0, as I incorrectly mentioned before. Victories over CCNY and Lehman, a defeat at the hands of Brooklyn College, and the one common opponent, or I should say one of 2 common opponents between these two teams, was NJCU. The Panthers defeated NJCU 3-0. The Dolphins fell to NJCU 3-0. So it will be a difficult task for the Dolphins here tonight. If you look at the rundown of both teams' schedules, this is a game that schedule and matchups dictate the Panthers should win. The Dolphins will look to pull the upset here in their third home match of the 2017 season. The players getting into position as we get set to get underway here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Dolphins and Panthers, men's Division III volleyball here on CSI Sportsnet. The referee just making sure that all of the players are positioned properly and then we'll be set. It looks as if the ball is about to be put in to the hands of the team possessing the first serve. That will be the Panthers. And for the Panthers, serving will be number 14, Andrea Otiniano. That one's set up by El Haddad, and it is the Dolphins' leading killer, Mark Palencia, who scores the first point of the match for the Dolphins. It will now be Adil El Haddad serving for CSI. El Haddad serve travels toward the back line, and attempting to set the ball at the net was Riley DeMerrill, and he looks like he came up empty on that one, so it will be another point for CSI. They now lead 2-0 here in set number 1. El Haddad serves. Setting it up is DeMerrill, and that attack will go over the back line, and it's quickly 3-0 in favor of CSI. El Haddad serving once again for CSI. It travels to the back line, set by DeMerrill, and softly tipped over the net by the Panthers. Palencia will send it back the other way, but that travels over the back line, and the Panthers have their first point. 3-1 CSI. Service now with the Panthers. It will be Andrew Schwab serving for Purchase. Served by Schwab. Travels to the back line. It's set by El Haddad for Palencia. His attack is dug out by the Panthers. They'll send it back over. El Haddad sets once again for Anthony Vigilante. Dug out on the back line by Otiniano. It's sent back over by the libero for the Panthers. Set by El Haddad. And the attack by Palencia, a heavy attack, results in a kill for Mark Palencia. As I just mentioned before, he leads the Dolphins in kills so far this season. And that kill will put the Dolphins out to a 3-point lead. It's now 4-1 in favor of CSI. It will be Palencia serving for CSI. Set by Schwab. That was Kevin Kargas with the attack and the kill. The Dolphins couldn't dig that one out. And the Dolphins' lead is cut to 2. Our score now 4-2 in favor of CSI. Service back to the Panthers as we'll have a substitution for Purchase. Giovanni Spadaro checks in. He replaced number 12, Luke Kubish. That one's set at the net by El Haddad, and the attack by Anthony Vigilante is blocked. So the point will go to the Panthers, who have cut the Dolphins' lead to 1. The score now 4-3 in favor of CSI. Serving is Giovanni Spadaro. Set on the other side by El Haddad. And the Dolphins' attack results in a kill, I believe, for CSI. And that will push their lead back up to 2. Our score now 5-3 in favor of the Dolphins as Stephen Caruso checks in, replacing Anthony Vigilante for the Dolphins. Going to reposition myself here at center court so I can get a better view of the Dolphins side of the net. It's difficult to see what's going on right at the net on the Dolphins side, so I should have a better view of the action from here, as that one will go down as a service ace for the Dolphins. They now lead 6-3. Credit that ace to Stephen Caruso. And credit Stephen Caruso with a second consecutive service ace, as the Dolphins' lead is now 4. It's 7-3 in favor of the Dolphins. Caruso serving once again for CSI. The serve is handled, set by DeMerrill. The Dolphins able to handle the attack and send it back over. Palencia sent it the other way. Set at the net once again, and credit that kill to Kevin Kargas. That was Andrew Schwab, number 3 at the net, setting him up. The score now 7-4 in favor of CSI. Serve back to the Panthers. Will be Kevin Kargas serving for Purchase. nice serve there by Kargas. Credit him with a service ace. That will cut the Dolphins' lead to 2. It's now 7-5 in favor of CSI. Another strong serve from Kargas. This one's dug out by the Dolphins. And Adil El-Haddad sets up Daniil Kukovitsky. And that will be a kill for Kukovitsky and a point for the Dolphins, who now lead 8-5. They will regain the serve. It will be Brandon Lay serving. Lay serve toward the right side. It's sent right back over as El-Haddad sets for Kukovitsky, and a heavy attack by Kukovitsky results in another kill for the Dolphins. That's back-to-back kills for Kukovitsky, and the Dolphins lead by 4 once again. They'll look to set a new mark for their largest lead of this first set, should they score the next point. Our score right now, 9-5 in favor of the Dolphins, as that attack ricochets right back at the attacker of Purchase, and the Dolphins have indeed extended their lead to 5, their largest of this first set. Brandon Lay's serve is handled by the Panthers, and that attack will result in an error. Point goes to the Dolphins once again. It's now 11-5. Purchase having a lot of trouble attacking near the net. Quite a few errors committed here in this first set, as the attack by the Panthers is handled by the Dolphins. Guo will just send it back over. Set by Schwab, and the attack by Otiniano handled by CSI. They send it back over. It's set by Schwab once again. Attack softly the other way. The Dolphins send it back over. Set by Schwab of the Panthers once again. The attack by DeMerrill dug out by the Dolphins. Set by El-Haddad for Guo. It's sent right back, blocked. It's Guo attacking once again for the Dolphins. Handled by the Panthers. And that attack by Kevin Kargas out of play. And long back and forth there. Point awarded to the Dolphins. So nicely done by both teams, keeping that rally going. But it's the Dolphins who come away with the point, as once again issues at the net plaguing Purchase right now. They've had a lot of trouble with successful attacks around the net. Just haven't been able to put heavy attacks on the Dolphins and really force them to play defense, as that attack is dug out by the libero for the Dolphins, Ronald Tisby. Attempting to send it back over was Mark Palencia. He cannot, and the Panthers finally able to get back on the board. The score now 13-6 in favor of CSI. It will be Riley DeMerrill serving for Purchase. It's handled by the Dolphins. I believe that was Adil El-Haddad who sent it over. It's sent right back to CSI. El-Haddad sets now. Jay Guo attacks. It's dug out by the Panthers. And once again, issues around the net continue to hurt the Panthers, who now find themselves with an 8-point deficit facing them, as the Dolphins lead this first set 14-6. They have regained serve. It will be Jay Guo serving for the Dolphins, and the Panthers will send it back over. It was Kevin Kargas who sent it over. The Dolphins send it back the other way. It's sent back towards them at the net, and the Dolphins sent it right back once again. However, I believe an error was called on that attack, so serve will go back to the Panthers. It will be Ethan Huang serving for Purchase. His serve is handled by Mark Palencia, set by Adil El-Haddad for Kukovitsky. It's dug out by the Panthers, but once again, an error called against Purchase right around the net. Serve goes right back to the Dolphins, who lead by 8. Our score 15-7 here in set number 1. The Dolphins coming out strong. Have looked good here in this first set. Have done a great job of avoiding mistakes, as Daniil Kukovitsky serves for CSI. It's set up in the air by Riley DeMerrill. Attack by the Panthers is dug out by the Dolphins. The ball goes back over to Purchase. An attack by Luke Kubish, dug out by the Dolphins. The ball travels back over to the Panthers once again. Attack by Andrew Schwab is blocked, and Schwab ends up with the ball once again for Purchase and makes no mistake with that second consecutive attempted attack. Point goes to the Panthers. They now trail by 7. It's 15-8. Dolphins leading here in set number 1. Served by Andrea Otiniano, handled by the Dolphins. Mark Palencia sends an attack back towards Purchase. It's dug out. Purchase will just send it back over weakly as Adil El Haddad sets for Anthony Vigilante, who lofts that ball over the attempted block. It drops right in behind the front line of Purchase. Another point to the Dolphins, who once again will extend their lead to 8 points. It's 16-8 now in favor of CSI. Adil El Haddad serves. It's handled by the Panthers. An attempted attack by Kevin Kargas is blocked. That one set up by DeMerrill for Schwab. El Haddad sets for Palencia, and that travels over the back line. Point will go to Purchase. Dolphins lead cut to 7 once again. The team's trading points, but that benefits the Dolphins here as they draw closer to a first set victory. Strong serve there by Andrew Schwab. That ball gets caught up in the bracing, holding up the basketball hoop. That's in play, and the Dolphins were forced to send it back weakly. Could not be handled by the libero Austin Lynch. So I'm not sure whether to call that a big break for the Dolphins or a costly miscue by the Panthers, but either way, it is a point for CSI. Mark Palencia serves. And once again, the Panthers simply can't get the ball back over. Another service ace for the Dolphins, who now lead by 9. Our score 18-9 in set number 1, as a timeout has been called by the Panthers. So taking a look here in this first set so far, the Dolphins have come out and played a very impressive first set. They've really had the Panthers on their heels. The Panthers have struggled to make simple plays around the net, really. There have been opportunities for them to send heavy attacks back the other way toward the Dolphins, but they just haven't been able to handle the ball around the net. Very uncharacteristic of them. And though we haven't seen them yet this season, the numbers would indicate that this team should not be struggling the way they have around the net. And the Dolphins really need to capitalize on their struggle should they turn it around. If the Panthers do turn it around further along here in this match, having this first set could go a long way for the Dolphins. And we'll see if the Dolphins can close it out, as they've already taken the court. They're ready to get back into action, but the Panthers having a lengthy discussion on the bench. They're getting set to break huddle and take the court once again. So when we resume play here in the first set, our score will be 18-9 in favor of the Dolphins. Serve with CSI, it will be Mark Palencia serving. Palencia serve handled by the libero Austin Lynch, and a heavy attack by Kevin Kargas, well placed right along that back line. And the point goes to Purchase. The score now 18-10 in favor of CSI. As once again, it will be Giovanni Spadaro checking in, replacing Luke Kubish for Purchase. Spadaro will be serving, and his serve travels straight into the net. A serve, a quick exit as Luke Kubish checks in. Score now 19-10 in favor of the Dolphins as Steven Caruso replaces Anthony Vigilante for the Dolphins. Caruso will be serving. That one's set by Andrew Schwab, and another heavy attack by Kevin Kargas. And the point goes to the Panthers off the kill by Kargas once again. So Kevin Kargas coming up big. As the Dolphins send it right back over off the receiving of that serve by Ronald Tisby. And they made that one an easy kill for the Panthers, who just spiked it right down behind that front line. The score now 19-12. Kevin Kargas serving once again. And Ronald Tisby couldn't get there. I'm not sure whose responsibility that was along the far sideline. It looks like it was Tisby's responsibility to get there. He did not. And the Dolphins' lead has been cut to 6. Our score 19-13. Kevin Kargas serves once again, and a nice serve by Kargas forces Tisby to try and play the ball down low. He couldn't dig it out, and head coach Jason Madsen of the Dolphins will call a timeout. So the score now 19-14 in favor of the Dolphins. The Panthers looking to make the closing points of this first set competitive. They've cut the Dolphins' lead to 5. The Dolphins led by as much as 9 in this first set, maybe even 10. I know with certainty the score at one point was 18-9. The Dolphins maybe even extended that lead to 19-9. But as it stands right now, the score 19-14 in favor of the Dolphins. And that will be our score when we resume play in just a few moments, as both teams taking the court quickly. The Dolphins not utilizing much of that timeout, but I'm sure Jason Madsen had some words for his team, hopefully impactful, as the Dolphins looking to stave off a potential comeback by the Panthers. Kevin Kargas still serving for Purchase. Serve handled by the Dolphins, set by El Haddad for Kukovitsky. Andrew Schwab now sets at the net for Purchase. The attack by DeMerrill is sent right back the other way by the Dolphins. DeMerrill sets now. That was Andrea Otiniano with the attack for the Panthers, and the Dolphins will send it right back to Purchase. Set by Schwab once again, and DeMerrill sees his attack travel over the outermost boundary near the top of your screen, so the point goes to CSI. They're able to regain serve. It will be Brandon Lay serving for CSI. They now lead 20-14. Schwab sets at the net for Tiniano, and the Dolphins couldn't dig that one out, so Purchase will gain service right back from CSI, trailing by 5 points here in the first set. Our score 20-15, and it will be Riley DeMerrill serving for the Panthers. That one set by El Haddad, and Jay Guo sees his attack blocked, but an error was charged to the Panthers, so the point will go to the Dolphins, who now find themselves 4 points away from a first set victory. Will be Guo serving. DeMerrill sets for Andrew Schwab, and Schwab will be awarded the kill for the Panthers. So the Panthers regain service right back once again, but they still trail by 5. They can't afford to trade points much longer, as we will have a substitution. It will be Griffin Rapp entering for Purchase, replacing Ethan Huang. Rapp will be serving for Purchase. That one's set up by Guo for Palencia, and that's Kevin Kargas on the Purchase side of the net attempting to dig it out. He could not. Point to the Dolphins, who now lead 22-16. Griffin Rapp checks out quickly for the Panthers. Daniil Kukovitsky serving for the Dolphins. Set at the net by DeMerrill. The attack by Schwab, handled by the Dolphins. Sending it back the other way is Mark Palencia, who dropped that ball right in the middle of the Purchase players. A very soft attack there by Palencia, but well placed. And that's been a theme for the Dolphins here in this first set. It hasn't taken heavy attacks for them to score points. It's been well-placed attacks getting the job done for CSI, who now lead 23-16. Kukovitsky's serve is handled, and Kevin Kargas softly attacks towards CSI. That one's set for Palencia by El Haddad. It's blocked and sent right back to the Dolphins. Palencia sends it over. Schwab fakes the set and sends it back towards CSI. El Haddad sets for the Dolphins, and once again, Mark Palencia drops that one right in the middle of the Purchase team there, and they just don't have an answer for that placement of the Dolphin attack right in the middle of the 6 Purchase Panthers, and unable to send it back once again, as Luke Kubish will be awarded that kill. It's dug out in the middle of the Purchase lines, that time successfully, and that made for a very easy set and kill opportunity. Brings the Panthers to within 7. Tiniano serving for Purchase. His serve handled by Jay Guo, and Adil El Haddad sends that one back over. However, he is charged with an error, and that draws the Panthers within 6. Our score 24-18 in set number 1. Tiniano serving once again, and that travels over the back line. An error charged, service error against the Panthers brings set number 1 to an end. The Dolphins take this first set by a score of 25-18. So the Dolphins with a very impressive showing here in set number 1. And it wasn't heavy attacks that got it done. As I mentioned, it was well-placed attacks and several miscues by the Panthers along the way. They had a lot of trouble handling the ball around the net, whether it was attempting to dig out a Dolphins attack that was placed in close proximity to the net, or attempting to set a dig that was made by their back line and turn that into an attack. They just struggled to do so. The Dolphins got the job done here in set number 1, defeating a team that, by all indications, the schedule said should win this match. So a very impressive job by CSI. I'm sure they're not looking at the common opponents between them and the Panthers of Purchase College, but those common opponents dictated that this is a match the Panthers should win. So a great job by the Dolphins in set number 1. And when we come back here on CSI Sportsnet, we will have coverage of set number 2 in this NCAA Division III men's volleyball matchup. Our score in set number 1, the Dolphins 25 and the Panthers 18 here on CSI Sportsnet. We will be right back with the call of set number 2 from the Sports and Recreation Center. We're back here on CSI Sportsnet. Set number 2 upcoming between the Panthers of Purchase College and the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins taking set number 1 by a score of 25-18 in very impressive manner. They led that first set from start to finish, and a great job by CSI taking down this Purchase team in set number 1, a team that I've already mentioned several times has fared well against teams that have defeated the Dolphins this season. So the Dolphins making a statement in set number 1, and they'll look to continue building momentum and hopefully build towards an ultimate victory in this match here in set number 2. Serve will be with the Dolphins opening up set number 2, and it will be Adil El Haddad serving for CSI. That one set at the net by Schwab. His set results in an attack dug out by the Dolphins, and the Dolphins come away with the kill and the first point of set number 2. So nicely done by the Dolphins, jumping out to an early lead here in the second set. Adil El Haddad serving once again for CSI. His service handled by Kevin Kargas, an attack by Luke Kubish. Ricochets off the hands of an attempted block. I believe that was Anthony Vigilante attempting the block at the net for the Dolphins, and once it ricocheted off Vigilante, there was no play along the back line for Ronald Tisby, so our score now even at 1-1. Serve with the Panthers. It's handled by the Dolphins. El Haddad sets. Mark Palenti's attack is dug out by Andrew Schwab. That ball travels back over the net to the Dolphins. Set by El Haddad once again for Palencia. His attack is dug out. Riley DeMerrill attacked for the Panthers. It was sent back over by the Dolphins. And Andrew Schwab sets for Kevin Kargas. His attack results in a kill. And Purchase has their first lead of this second set. I believe also their first lead of the match. Score now 2-1. It will be Andrea Ortiniano serving once again. And that's Ronald Tisby, who attempts to send it back over, but it ricochets off the piping, hanging down from the ceiling here at the Sports and Recreation Center. And the Dolphins now find themselves in a 3-1 hole. Andrea Ortiniano serving once again for the Panthers. His serve handled by Guo. It's set by El Haddad. Brandon Lay with the attack. And that one's set for the Panthers by Andrew Schwab. And it was, I believe, Riley DeMero with the kill on that attack. Panthers jump out to a 4-0 lead now here in the second set. And I apologize for the difficulty I'm having here calling action around the net. It's very difficult to see both sides of the net at one time from our position here along center court. But it's a 4-0 Panthers lead. Andrea Ortiniano serving, and that serve travels straight over the back line. A service error charged to the Panthers. Serve back to the Dolphins, who trail 4-2 here in the second set. It will be Mark Palencia serving for CSI. And that one outside the boundary along the near sideline at the bottom of your screen. Service error charged to the Dolphins now. Back-to-back service errors, one by each team, as we'll have a substitution for Purchase. Giovanni Spadaro enters for Purchase College, replacing Luke Kubish. We've seen that substitution made several times, and I believe that's the second consecutive service error committed by Spadaro. A pair of service errors committed by the Panthers in the first set. They've already committed 2 here in the second set. The Dolphins did not commit a service error in the first set, as Steven Caruso's serve handled by the Panthers in a heavy attack by Kevin Kargas. Point goes to the Panthers, who now lead 6-3. Kargas has done a good job for the Panthers here tonight. In that first set, he had 4 kills on 9 total attacks. And it will be Riley DeMerrill serving for the Panthers. It's sent back over quickly by Daniil Kukovitsky of the Dolphins. Kevin Kargas sends it back to CSI. El Haddad sets. And that one off the hand of the libero, Austin Lynch. Credit that kill to number 2 of the Dolphins, Zebin Guo. Point goes to CSI. They now trail by 2. It's 6-4 here in set number 2. It will be Brandon Lay serving. Set for Schwab by Kargas. And it's sent right back over to the Panthers, back to the Dolphins. Daniil Kukovitsky attempts the attack. I believe a handling error was called, perhaps a player making contact with the ball 2 consecutive times on the Purchase side. Either way, it is a point for the Dolphins, who now trail by a single point at 6-5. Set at the net for Kevin Kargas, in a heavy attack, just ate up Ronald Tisby. He had no chance on that one. And the strong attack by Kargas extends the Panthers' lead back up to 2. The score now 7-5. And it will be Kevin Kargas serving for the Panthers. Kargas showing off his ball handling skills as we wait for play to resume. Coach of the Panthers, Christopher Hussman, having a word with a couple of his players near the top of your screen along that far sideline. The referee now repositioning some Dolphins along that front line as well. And we're back to action here as Kevin Kargas serves for Purchase. That one grazes the top of the net, stays on the Dolphins side. That was sent over by Palencia, set up by DeMerrill for Schwab. Daniil Kukovitsky sends it back the other way, set by DeMerrill once again. And that's Ortiniano. It's dug out by Tisby and sent over by Mark Palencia. Bumped gently and then sent over on the attack. I believe that was Andrew Schwab. Mark Palencia tries to drop it in the middle for the Dolphins once again, but it's handled along the back line by the Panthers, who send it back towards CSI. And Adil El-Haddad sees his attack ricochet off the net. The Dolphins couldn't regain possession. And that back and forth goes to the Panthers, who now lead this second set 8-5. Kevin Kargas serving once again. And that one caught a piece of the back line. Brandon Lay let it go. And he takes responsibility for that mistake, as the Panthers now have their largest lead of this second set. It's 9-5. Kevin Kargas still serving for Purchase. And Mark Palencia couldn't handle that one as it ricochets off his forearms and back over the far sideline. That one ate him up a bit. Point once again to the Panthers, who now lead 10-5. The Dolphins handle that Kargas serve. It was set up for Kukovitsky, who sent it over. The Panthers send it back the other way. El-Haddad sets for Kukovitsky once again. His attack is dug out. The Panthers send it back over to the Dolphins. El-Haddad sets, and Mark Palencia's attack outside the near boundary toward the bottom of your screen. Point to the Panthers once again. They now have a 6-point lead here in this second set. Our score 11-5. Kevin Kargas serving. Another strong serve. That one is handled by the Dolphins along the back line. Comes over towards me, but it is sent over by CSI. And a heavy attack by the Panthers. I believe that was ruled an error charge to the Dolphins, perhaps a blocking error, because that attack did travel over the back line. And after the Panthers jump out to a 7-point lead, head coach of the Dolphins, Jason Madsen, has seen enough. He calls a timeout as the Dolphins have fallen behind 12-5 here in set number 2. This 7-point deficit, the same margin by which the Dolphins won set number 1. They lead this match 1-0 here at the Sports and Recreation Center. And I didn't get a chance to look at some of the numbers that jump out from set number 1, so we'll do that right now. Kevin Kargas led the Panthers in kills in set number 1. He had 4 on 9 total attacks. Andrea Otiniano and Andrew Schwab also had a pair of kills. Andrew Schwab led the Panthers in assists with 5. And Riley DeMerrill was second in assists for Purchase with 3. For the Dolphins, Mark Palencia led them in kills with 5. Adil El-Haddad led them with 9 assists, one of only 2 players to record an assist in that first set for CSI. The other was Brandon Lay. As we're set to resume action, Kevin Kargas serving for the Panthers. That's handled by the back line of the Dolphins. El-Haddad sets for Guo, and Guo's attack results in a kill. That's off the fingertips of a Panthers player. Point to the Dolphins, who now trail 12-6 in set number 2. Jay Guo serving for CSI. It's set by DeMerrill at the net. Otiniano sees his attack blocked by El-Haddad. Set by DeMerrill once again, this time for Andrew Schwab, and Schwab picks up the kill for the Panthers. They'll gain service right back, leading 13-6 in this second set. Serving for the Panthers will be Ethan Huang. And his serve travels, I believe, right into the back of one of his teammates along the net. Serve right back to the Dolphins. They now trail by 6. Our score 13-7. Daniil Kukovitsky serving for CSI. Kevin Kargas gets hands on that one. Riley DeMerrill sets for Andrea Otiniano. And the point will go to the Dolphins. I believe that one traveled over the back line. I didn't catch the call. However, our score is 13-8 in favor of the Panthers. Kukovitsky service Serves it for the Dolphins. And I believe an error was called on that one at the net. The error would have been charged to Jay Guo, so the point goes to Purchase. They lead by 6 once again, and it will be Andrew Schwab serving. His serve handled by the Dolphins. Schwab sets for Tiniano. It's blocked by El Haddad. Set once again by Schwab. This time it's DeMerrill attacking, and it's blocked once again by the Dolphins. Point to CSI. So nicely done there by the Dolphins, defending the net. A pair of blocks in that sequence. And they've trimmed the lead back down to 5. Our score now 14-9 in favor of the Panthers. Adil El Haddad serving for CSI. That one's set by Andrew Schwab, and a heavy attack by Riley DeMerrill. Point goes to the Panthers, and they're back out to a 6-point lead. It'll be Andrea Tiniano serving for Purchase now. His serve travels to the back line, handled by Ronald Tisby. That's set by Adil El Haddad, and the attack by Mark Palencia too strong as it travels over the boundary along the top of your screen. Error charge to the Dolphins, point to the Panthers. Action around the net now as it's Luke Kubish who sends a heavy attack towards CSI. He's awarded the kill, and the Panthers are now ahead by 8 here in this second set. And they're making a statement here in set number 2 after falling in set number 1 by 7 points. Otiniano serving once again for Purchase. That one's set by El Haddad. Brandon Lay with the attack, dug out by the Panthers. Set by DeMerrill for Andrew Schwab, and his attack travels far over that back line. So CSI will regain service, trailing by 7. Our score 17-10. It will be Mark Palencia serving for CSI. That one travels to the back line of the Panthers. It's set quickly by Andrew Schwab. And once again, I believe an error was charged at the net. Either that or that attack just traveled straight into the net. Either way, it is a point for the Dolphins, who have trimmed the lead back down to 6. Our score now 17-11. Palencia's serve handled along the back line by Austin Lynch. An attack is sent over toward the Dolphins by Kevin Kargas. That one was set up for Jay Guo, and that is a kill for Guo. Dolphins now trail by 5. Our score 17-12. A lot of Dolphins getting in on the action so far in this match. 6 different players with a kill in the first set. As it's Mark Palencia serving. Bumped up in the air by the Panthers. It's set at the net and sent over weakly by Purchase. And once again, that one's set up for Jay Guo, and his attack results in another kill. The Dolphins have built momentum here and find themselves trailing now by only 4. They'll look to keep it going, as it will be Palencia serving. Handled by Austin Lynch along the back line, set up by Andrew Schwab, partially blocked by the Dolphins, who are able to get it back over. Riley DeMerrill sets. The attack by Kargas was blocked. It's sent back over to the Dolphins. Along the top of your screen, the attack by Guo, dug out by the Panthers. An attack by Kargas could not be handled by the Dolphins. Give another kill to Kevin Kargas, who's done a great job for the Panthers so far tonight. And that ends the Dolphins' rally there, as they were starting to work their way back into the second set. They had cut the lead to 4. Purchase lead now 5, as El Haddad sets for Vigilante. He could not get that one over. It looked like it ricocheted off the top of the net back towards him, and Jason Madsen will call another timeout. Dolphins now trail by 6 here in the second set. They had built some momentum in the last few sequences, but could not get back tied. It looked as if they may have an opportunity to do so. They had pulled within 4, but instead now back-to-back points for the Panthers, and they find themselves leading 19-13 in set number 2. A very strong showing for the Dolphins in set number 1. As I mentioned, a lot of players getting involved in the action. The Dolphins came away with 11 kills in set number 1. And players with kills in that first set included Ronald Tisby, Anthony Vigilante, Daniil Kukovitsky, Mark Palencia, Brandon Lay, and Zebin Guo. So just about every player who took the floor for the Dolphins with a kill. The only players who entered the game and did not record a kill were Stephen Caruso and Adil El-Haddad. El-Haddad, however, did record 9 assists. Of course, not his role to be coming away with kills. Instead, he looks to set up his teammates, and Stephen Caruso didn't spend much time on the floor, so completely understandable that he didn't come away with a kill, but everyone else got in on the action. The Dolphins will need more of that moving forward as they trail by 6 here in set number 2. And credit a service ace on that one to the Panthers' number 7, Giovanni Spadaro. So after his last 2 serve attempts resulted in service errors, Spadaro records the ace here, extending his team's lead to 7. And following his service ace, he picks up another service error. And point goes to the Dolphins, bringing them to within 6. Caruso replaces Vigilante, and Spadaro will check out as well for the Panthers. And that kill goes to Kevin Kargas. Credit the assist on the set to Andrew Schwab. Serve right back to the Panthers. Our score 21-14 in favor of Purchase as they look to pick up a victory here in the second set, following a Dolphins victory in set number 1. Riley DeMerrill serving for Purchase. Handled by Ronald Tisby and set by El-Haddad for Kukovitsky. His attack is blocked. Set once again by El-Haddad, this time for Guo, and that travels over the back line. Point goes to the Panthers. It will be Riley DeMerrill serving once again. Purchase within 3 points of a second set victory. That one served softly, and nice recovery along the front of the net by the Dolphins, but there's no recovering from that, as once again it's Kevin Kargas with the heavy attack and kill for the Panthers, who now find themselves within 2 points of a second set victory. They look to even up this match at 1 set apiece. Another soft serve by DeMerrill. Set by El-Haddad for Guo, and Guo's attack is blocked at the front of the net. Nicely done there. Up around the net by the Panthers. They've done a much better job in that area here in the second set. They find themselves within 1 point of a second set victory. El-Haddad sets for Lay, dug out by DeMerrill. And that dig by Riley DeMerrill results in a set clinching kill for the Panthers. So the Panthers take set number 2 by a score of 25-14. That evens the match at 1 set apiece. So the Dolphins came out very strong in set number 1, made a statement against a team that comes into the superior record and has fared well against teams that defeated the Dolphins earlier this season. However, CSI did pick up the set 1 victory. It is the Panthers who come back in set number 2 and even up the match at 1 set apiece. So we'll step aside for just a minute or two, and we'll be back with the call of set number 3 and some stats from set number 2 as well here on CSI Sportsnet. This is NCAA Division III Men's Volleyball. Dolphins and Panthers here from the Sports and Recreation Center. We'll rejoin you in just a minute. And we're back here on CSI Sportsnet. This is Joe Foreman with the call of NCAA Division III men's volleyball as we get set to begin set number 3 between the Panthers of Purchase College and your CSI Dolphins. The Dolphins picked up a victory in set number 1, taking that set by a score of 25-18. The Dolphins really did a good job in that first set, as I mentioned before, getting a lot of players involved on the attack. They had 6 different players with kills, as I was mentioning before. Also, Adil El-Haddad with 9 assists in that first set. He did a great job facilitating for CSI. And a big issue for the Panthers in that first set was errors. They committed 7 errors in the first set. However, they cleaned up their play in the second set, committing only 3 errors. And that was a big factor in the first set that allowed the Dolphins to pick up the set 1 victory. And the Panthers cleaning up their play really made things difficult for the Dolphins in set number 2. In set number 2, however, the Dolphins did have some players who really did a great job attacking, with Mark Palencia picking up 6 kills and Jay Guo picking up 5. Only one Dolphin had more than 2 kills in the first set. That was Mark Palencia, so it's no surprise to see him leading the team in kills in set number 2 as well. However, he did commit 5 errors in that second set. Jay Guo, the second leading killer, committed 3 as the Dolphins quickly pick up the first point of the third set on a service error. I believe that was Andrea Otignano who was charged with that service error, and the Dolphins quickly jump out to a 1-0 lead. Adil El-Haddad serves for CSI. It's handled by the Panthers, sent over weakly by Riley DeMero. Mark Palencia sends it back toward Purchase. It's Kevin Kargas who sends an attack the Dolphins' way, set by Adil El-Haddad, and Mark Palencia with a heavy attack once again quickly has his first kill of the third set. Dolphins out to a 2-0 lead. As I was saying before, it's been a strong showing here for Mark Palencia, who has 11 kills through the first 2 sets. El-Haddad serves, set by Schwab, and the kill will not be awarded, as that one traveled over the boundary near the top of your screen. So that error, I believe, was charged to Luke Kubish. I didn't catch who it was on that attack for the Panthers. Either way, it's a 3-0 Dolphins lead in this third set, as the referee hesitated to charge that service error to CSI. Point goes the way of the Panthers. Score now 3-1. Once again, Giovanni Spadaro checks in to serve for Purchase. His serve travels toward the back line, and it's set by El-Haddad for Vigilante, and Vigilante's attack results in a kill. Dolphins now lead 4-1 here in this third set. Dolphins off to a much stronger start here in set number 3 than the start they got off to in set number 2. It's Mark Palencia serving for CSI. It's handled by the Panthers. Schwab sets for Kargas. Dug out by Palencia, and the Dolphins will just bump it back over. And falling down, unable to handle that one, was Andrea Otignano. So Otignano with a miscue there. Point goes to the Dolphins. Serve remains with Mark Palencia, and the Dolphins now have a 4-point lead early in this third set. Palencia's serve handled along the back, set by Schwab for DeMerrill. 2 Dolphins attempting to dig it out. They do so successfully. The Dolphins send it back the other way. Schwab sets for Kargas, and that's been a lethal combination for the Panthers so far here tonight, as once again it is Kargas with the kill for Purchase. The CSI lead now trimmed to 3, our score 5-2. Riley DeMerrill serves, handled by the Dolphins, set by El-Haddad. Attack by the Dolphins is dug out by the Panthers. DeMerrill for Kargas on that attack. That's Jay Guo with the kill for CSI. So a quick back and forth there by the Dolphins and Panthers results in a Dolphins score. They now lead 6-2. Once again, Steven Caruso checks in to serve for CSI. 4-point lead for the Dolphins. We're early in set number 3. This match tied at 1 set apiece. DeMerrill sets for Schwab, and it will be Andrew Schwab awarded with the kill. And the Panthers quickly pick up their 3rd point of this 3rd set. A 3-point lead here in set number 3 for the Dolphins. Our score is 6-3. Kevin Kargas serving. He's done a good job serving so far for Purchase. Set by El Haddad for Palencia. That one dug straight into the ceiling, and the Panthers just let that ball fall down. It appears as if they were uncertain as to whether or not that ball was still in play. Dolphins, very heads up in a situation similar to that earlier, able to send the ball back. The Panthers couldn't do so there. And Daniil Kukovitsky with a heavy attack after the Brandon Lay serve was sent over to the Dolphins side of the net weakly, and that allowed Kukovitsky to spike one straight down in the middle of 6 Panthers. So Dolphins serve now. It's Brandon Lay. They lead 8-3. Set by Riley DeMerrill for Andrew Schwab, dug out by Ronald Tisby, and that's a handling error charged to Mark Palencia. Score now 8-4 as the Panthers will regain serve. It will be Ethan Huang serving for Purchase. He takes his time before sending a serve toward the back line of the Dolphins. And rather than set for Kukovitsky, El Haddad sent that one over. And I believe an error was charged at the net on the Panthers once again. So point goes to the Dolphins, serve back with CSI. Jay Gross serves. That's set by Riley DeMerrill for Luke Kubish, and Kubish sends that attack straight down at Brandon Lay, who couldn't handle it, so credit Luke Kubish with a kill for the Panthers, who are back to within 4. Our score now 9-5. It will be Andrew Schwab serving for the Panthers. Strong serve by Schwab, handled by Ronald Tisby. It's set for Mark Palencia, who didn't get all of that one. Now Andrew Schwab setting for the Panthers. His attack is dug out. The Dolphins sent it back over. It was quickly returned to them. And a lot of action over around the net. And I believe it was a blocking error charged to the Panthers. Tough to see from with a delay in calling the action at the net. My angle here is less than ideal at center court, but it will be Daniil Kukovitsky serving for CSI. His serve handled, set by Schwab for DeMerrill, and the point is awarded to the Panthers. So the Panthers now back within 4. Teams both beginning to exchange points once again. Right now that benefits the Dolphins, who lead by 4. Andrea Otignano serving for the Panthers, and that serve travels straight over the back line. A service error charged to Otignano. Dolphins now lead by 5 once again. Our score is 11-6. Set by Schwab for Kargas, dug out by Tisby. El Haddad sets for Mark Palencia. It's dug out by the Panthers, who send it back over. Vigilante over to Haddad, who sets for Palencia. His attack is dug out. That's Kevin Kargas setting for Riley DeMerrill. It's dug out by Ronald Tisby, set once again by El Haddad, and unable to clear the net with that attack attempt was Brandon Lay. Score now 11-7 in favor of the Dolphins. Serve goes back to the Panthers, and once again, Giovanni Spadaro will check in to serve for Purchase. His serve handled by Ronald Tisby. It's set by El Haddad for Lay. Lay's attack is dug out. Andrew Schwab sets it for Riley DeMerrill, and he drops one in along the Dolphins' front line. The Dolphins were able to send it over, but Ethan Huang made sure that they could not do so again. That point goes to the Panthers, who now find themselves within 3. Our score 8 here in set number 3. Spadaro serves. It's set by El Haddad for Vigilante. And Andrew Schwab sends it back toward the Dolphins. El Haddad sets for Vigilante once again. And an error was charged to the Dolphins, so the point once again goes to Purchase. The score now 11-9. So the Panthers making a push back into this third set after the Dolphins seemed to be in command early. Served by Spadaro, handled by the back line of the Dolphins as El Haddad sets for Palencia, who comes away with yet another kill. He's done a great job for CSI tonight, attempting to match Kevin Cargus kill for kill. That's been a tough task, as through 2 sets, Cargus had 14 kills. The Dolphins' point brings our score to 12-9. It will be Mark Palencia serving. It's handled by Otignano, and the set for Cargus allows him to easily drop one in behind that Dolphins front line. Another well-placed attack by Kevin Cargus, who has made a statement more so with the strength of his attacks rather than the placement of his attacks, but a well-placed attack there gains his team a point as El Haddad sets for Vigilante, and it's mishandled around the net by the Dolphins. Panthers pull 2 within 1 now, as CSI finds themselves struggling a bit after a strong start to this third set. And that's much needed for CSI, as that service error by Riley DeMero will break the momentum of Purchase. Serve goes back to the Dolphins. Steven Caruso replaces Anthony Vigilante. So Caruso serving for CSI. Dolphins lead 13-11. As Riley DeMero inadvertently set that ball up over the net, it landed in front of a trio of Dolphins, and the point was awarded to CSI. DeMero pleading his case to the official along the near sideline. I'm not sure what the call was there, but clearly an error was charged to DeMero. So the Dolphins perhaps catching a break, perhaps not. Difficult to discern what the call was from here. But our score is now 14-11 in favor of CSI. Steven Caruso serving. And serve quickly back to the Panthers. Service error charged to Steven Caruso. Our score now 14-12 in favor of the Dolphins. Vigilante checks back in for Caruso. That a CSI substitution, of course, as the Panthers serve, handled by the Dolphins and sent back over to Purchase. Nicely done on the attack there by Andrew Schwab. He's awarded the kill. That pulls his team to within 1 now. Dolphins lead 14-13 here in set number 3. A very competitive back and forth match thus far here tonight, as it's Kevin Cargus serving for the Panthers. He picks up the ace, as it's Ronald Tisby failing to handle that one cleanly, and that will draw us even here in the third set. Our score knotted up at 14. Cargus still serving for the Panthers. He had 5 service aces in set number 2, as El Haddad sets for Palencia. It ricochets off a pair of Panthers. Cargus sends it back over. Handled by Ronald Tisby, set up for Kukovitsky, whose attack is dug out. And Cargus attempts to send it back over for Purchase. He could not clear the net with that attempt. Serve back to the Dolphins, lead back to the Dolphins. They find themselves ahead by 1 now. Our score 15-14. Brandon Lay serving. Otignano handles it. The ball finds its way back to him, and then he weakly sends one over the boundary near the bottom of your screen. An error on the attack charge to Otignano. Serve remains with the Dolphins, who now lead by 2 once again. It's 16-14 in favor of CSI. Set by DeMerrill for Schwab. It's dug out by the Dolphins. El Haddad sets for Guo. And the block attempt at the net appears as if it was successful. Point goes to the Panthers. They pull back to within 1. Entering for the Panthers now is Griffin Rapp. He replaces Ethan Huang. Rapp's serve handled by the Dolphins. Kukovitsky softly attacking. It's sent right back to the Dolphins by Andrew Schwab. Adil El-Haddad sets for Mark Palencia. His attack rolls over the top of the net. Riley DeMerrill sets for Andrea Otignano, but his attack did not clear the net. And that point will go to the Dolphins. They now lead by 2 once again. Ethan Huang will return for the Panthers, replacing Rapp. Serve with the Dolphins. And they will change the volleyball. So Jay Guo receives a new ball, and he's ready to serve. And that one just ate up Andrea Otignano. He's had a rough time of it for the Panthers here in the last couple of minutes. The Dolphins extend their lead to 3, and the Panthers will call a timeout. So the Panthers reeling a bit here after getting things even in this third set. The score was knotted up at 14 not too long ago. But now the Dolphins have jumped out to a 3-point lead and are within 7 points of a third set victory. A victory in the third set, that is. That would bring their games 1 total to 2 on this match, giving them a 2-1 lead. Heading into a 4th set, but still a ways to go before that happens. However, if CSI continues to perform the way they have so far here tonight, there's no reason to believe they can't close this set out. A bit of a weak finish to set number 2 for the Dolphins. They increased their error total from set number 1 by 2, committed 7 errors in the second set as opposed to 5 in the first set. Purchase decreased their error committed total on the attack from 7 to 3, so that decrease in Purchase errors and increase in Dolphin errors in part responsible for the Dolphins' defeat in set number 2. It's been a fairly clean set number 3 for the Dolphins. And as we resume play, the serve mishandled by the Panthers. Dolphins pick up a quick point following our return to actions. That one pinballed around on the Purchase side of the net. They could not get it over. Riley DeMerrill sets for Andrew Schwab, who picks up the kill. Nicely done by DeMerrill and Schwab. The score now 19-16. And when the Panthers have been able to set up their attacks cleanly around the net, the Dolphins have had a difficult time digging out heavy attacks by Andrew Schwab and Kevin Kargas. That time it was Andrew Schwab serving, and the Dolphins could not send it back the other way. I believe an attack attempt by Daniil Kukovitsky was blocked at the net by the Panthers, who pull back to within 2. Our score now 19-17 in favor of the Dolphins. Andrew Schwab serving once again, and that one is tucked inside the boundary near the top of your screen, leading Jason Madsen to call a quick timeout. And a 4-point Dolphins lead has quickly been trimmed down to 1 here in this third set. So the Panthers making a run now, and this set has been a set of runs, both teams going back and forth. And that's been the nature of this match so far. The Dolphins with a 7-point victory in set number 1. The Panthers with an 11-point victory in set number 2. It was the Dolphins who got off to a strong start here in set number 3. The Panthers responded. The Dolphins then jumped out to a 4-point lead prior to the Panthers calling a timeout. And now the Panthers have drawn 2 within 1, leading to a timeout called by Jason Madsen. So the Dolphins struggling a bit here, and the Panthers came out of their timeout strong. We'll see if they can continue to ride their momentum in this third set as they look to score the tying point. Set by El Haddad for Palencia, and he picks up the kill for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins put an end to that run of scoring by the Panthers at 3, and the Dolphins now have a 2-point lead. It will be Daniil Kukovitsky serving for CSI. The score 20-18 here in this third set. Set by Schwab for DeMerrill. And the kill goes to Riley DeMerrill. Dolphins see their lead trimmed to 1 once again. Our score 20-19 in favor of CSI. A very competitive third set throughout here at the Sports and Recreation Center. As El Haddad sets for Guo, and he is awarded with the kill. Our score now 21-19 in favor of the Dolphins. The teams exchange a couple of points once again. Serve with the Dolphins, it will be Adil El Haddad serving for CSI. Handled by Kevin Kargas, set by Andrew Schwab for Kargas. It's dug out by Guo over towards the scorer's table and out of play. So a strong attack by Kevin Kargas, dug out by Jay Guo. Unfortunately for him, that ball ricocheted out of play. Not an easy one to dig out cleanly for Guo, and the point goes to the Panthers, bringing them back to within 1. Spadaro's serve handled by the Dolphins. It's set by El Haddad for Vigilante. His attack dug out by the Panthers, who send it back to the Dolphins. El Haddad returns the ball to the Panthers side of the net. It's set for Kevin Kargas. His attack is blocked. And the ball winds up falling just inside the Panthers side of the net. That one popped straight up into the air. Both teams waiting to see where it wound up. And fortunately for the Dolphins, it lands on the Panthers side of the net. Point goes to CSI. They now lead by 2. Set by Schwab for Huang. Set by Brandon Lay of the Dolphins for Jay Guo. It's dug out by the Panthers. Kevin Kargas sends it back to CSI. And Jay Guo sends it back to Purchase. Set by Andrew Schwab for Riley DeMerrill. It's dug out by the Dolphins once again. Bumped up in the air by Mark Palencia. Ball still on the Dolphins side of the net. Good work being done around the net by Purchase. Kevin Kargas looked to send it back over, and the Dolphins returning it to the Panthers, who quickly send it back to CSI as El Haddad sets for Vigilante, and after a long rally back and forth, it is the Panthers who finally score their 21st point of this third set. Dolphins lead 22-21. Riley DeMerrill serving for Purchase. Set up by El Haddad for Guo. It's dug out by the Panthers. Set up for Kevin Kargas. His attack ricochets off the hands of a Dolphin. It's set for Brandon Lay. His attack is dug out. DeMerrill sets as Schwab sends it over softly. El Haddad sets now for Vigilante. His attack is dug out as DeMerrill sets it once again. Kevin Kargas looks to send his attack over. He could not. And now the Dolphins find themselves within 2 points of a victory in this third set. The Dolphins looking to extend their games lead in this match to 2-1. We're currently knotted up at 1 set apiece. Our score in this third set, 23-21 in favor of CSI. Steven Caruso serves for the Dolphins. And Andrew Schwab sees his attack blocked by a pair of Dolphins. Riley DeMerrill sends it over. Steven Caruso handles it, sends it over to El Haddad, who sets for Mark Palencia, and it's Mark Palencia once again picking up the kill for CSI. Timeout called by the Panthers, who find themselves now within 1 Dolphins point of a defeat in this third set. The Dolphins will look to close things out coming out of this timeout, as Jason Madsen will have a word with his team. Panthers head coach Christopher Hussman will have a word with his team. And when we come out of this break, the Dolphins, leading 24-21, will be within 1 point of a victory in set number 3. And enough can't be said about how Mark Palencia has performed tonight here for the Dolphins. Through the first 2 sets, Palencia with 11 kills. He has done a great job for CSI. And he has absolutely continued that here in this 3rd set, picking up the most recent Dolphins kill, which awarded them their 24th point. Steven Caruso serving for CSI now as they look to pick up their 25th and take set number 3. Caruso's serve handled along the back line of the Panthers. It's set by Andrew Schwab. Soft attack by Riley DeMerrill. It's set by El Haddad for Kukovitsky. His attack is blocked. El Haddad sets once again. It's sent over softly by Palencia. The ball returned over softly by DeMerrill of the Panthers. El Haddad sets, and Mark Palencia picks up yet another kill off the fingertips of a Panthers player right along the front of the net. And it is the Dolphins who take set number 3. The team's going back and forth so far here in this match tonight at the Sports and Recreation Center. The Dolphins take set number 3 by a score of 25-21. The Dolphins now lead this match 2-1 over the Panthers of Purchase College. A strong showing so far here tonight for the Dolphins. And if you're head coach Jason Madsen, you have to be very happy with the play of your team here this evening. But the job's not done yet. The Dolphins will look to close this match out here in set number 4. They will have the opportunity to do so, leading 2-1 against the team that came in tonight, I should say, the Panthers, with a record of 3-2. The Dolphins came in with a record of 1-3. CSI looking to pull off what I would consider to be an upset here tonight, and a big win for this team, as they have performed very well here tonight, led by Mark Palencia, who through the first 2 sets had 11 kills. I now have official stats for set number 3. And Palencia in that 3rd set, his kill total now, I should say, increases to 13. So inadvertently, I was reading the stats on the official stat line as set by set. These stats are in fact cumulative. So through 3 sets, I should say, Palencia with 13 kills rather than with 11 kills through the first 2 sets. Once again, Mark Palencia now has 13 kills through 3 sets. I incorrectly was reading the stats as set by set. These are cumulative statistics in front of me. So the Dolphins faring well so far, regardless of how I interpreted the stats through 3 sets. They lead 2-1, a 25-18 victory in set number 1, a 25-14 defeat in set number 2, and a 25-21 victory in set number 3. So taking a look at some of the team leaders once again, as I've done after the first 2 sets, leading the Panthers with 13 kills is Kevin Kargas. Andrew Schwab second behind him with 7 kills, and Riley DeMerrill third with 6 kills. DeMerrill with 11 assists through 3 sets, and Andrew Schwab with 17 assists through 3 sets. For the Dolphins, Mark Palencia, as I just mentioned, leading in kills through 3 sets with 13. Adil El Haddad with a whopping 23 assists so far through the first 3 sets. Only 2 other Dolphins have recorded an assist. Also doing a good job on the attack for the Dolphins are Jay Guo, who has 6 kills, Daniil Kukovitsky with 5, but a lot of players getting involved. Anthony Vigilante with 2 kills, Ronald Tisby with a pair of kills, Brandon Lay with a single kill for the Dolphins as well. As set number 3 begins with a serve by Adil El Haddad, and attempting to send it over back to the Dolphins side of the net was Andrew Schwab. However, it lands out of play. First point of set number 4 goes to the Dolphins. El Haddad serving for CSI once again. It's handled along the back line by Kevin Kargas. Heavy attack dug out by the Dolphins, and they can't send it back over. It was nicely dug out. However, the Dolphins could not send the ball back the other way. Point goes to Purchase, evening the score at 1 apiece. This once again is the 4th set from the Sports and Recreation Center here tonight. Dolphins lead the match 2-1. And that's served by Andrea Antignano, travels over the back line once again. Point goes to the Dolphins. They now lead 2-1. Mark Palencia serving. And it is sent over by the Panthers. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. I didn't quite see if that was an attempted set or an attempted attack, just attempting to get it over softly. However, it is a kill for Purchase. Point goes to the Panthers. Score knotted up at 2. Spadaro serves. El Haddad sets for Vigilante off the fingertips of a Panther along that front line. Kill goes to Vigilante. Point goes to the Dolphins. Steven Caruso checks in for Vigilante, who just picked up the kill for CSI, and it will be Caruso serving for the Dolphins. Score 3-2 here in this fourth set. Serve by Steven Caruso is handled by Kevin Kargas, and it is set for Kargas by Andrew Schwab. Kargas picks up the kill, a well-placed attack right near the back lower corner of the boundary, near the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That ties up the score at 3, and Vigilante will check back in for Caruso. However, both will take a seat on the bench for the moment. Serve belongs to the Panthers and Riley DeMerrill. El Haddad sets, Mark Palencia attacks. It's dug out by Riley DeMerrill straight up into the air and sent over immediately by Andrew Schwab, who will pick up the kill. Score now 4-3 in favor of Purchase. Riley DeMerrill serving once again for the Panthers. That's handled by Guo, but waiting at the net for it was Ethan Huang. And Huang picks up the kill for Purchase, who extend their lead to 2. Our score now 5-3 in favor of the Panthers. DeMerrill still serving for Purchase College. His serve travels over towards Guo once again. And an error called as the Dolphins sent that one over at the net. A pair of Panthers attempted a block, but no block was necessary as the error leads to a point for Purchase. They now lead by 3. Set by El Haddad for Palencia, and a heavy attack by Palencia. Failed to dig, or I should say Austin Lynch failing to dig it out. Kill for Palencia, point to the Dolphins. They end the Purchase run, now trail 6-4. As DeMerrill sets for Kevin Kargas, and his attack goes straight down into the net. So a point to the Dolphins once again. It's now 6-5. Dolphins pull back to within 1. Served by the Dolphins is handled by the back line of the Panthers. And that attack by Andrew Schwab lands along the furthermost corner near the top left of your screen. Nicely tucked into the boundaries there by Kargas. And that point extends the Panthers' lead to 2 once again. It is now 7-5. Kevin Kargas serving. Handled along the back line by Mark Palencia. It's set by El Haddad for Jay Guo. And the point will go to the Panthers. It's a nice job around the net there by Purchase, forming a wall and making that attack attempt difficult. They lead by 3 once again. It's now 8-5. That serve rolls over the top of the net onto the Dolphins' side. Kukovitsky tries to send it over. It's blocked. El Haddad fakes the set and sends it over to the Panthers. Kevin Kargas sends it back to the Dolphins. El Haddad sets for CSI. And the attack by Jay Guo travels over the back line. And an attack error will be charged to Guo. Panthers now lead by 4. This is their largest lead of the fourth set. Kevin Kargas serves. Ronald Tisby deflects it towards us. It's sent over to him by Lay and then sent back over to the Panthers. And that attack was partially blocked at the net. A strong attack by Andrew Schwab, and the Dolphins could not block it successfully. So that's a kill for Andrew Schwab. The Panthers have their largest lead of this fourth set, a 5-point lead. Our score now 10-5 in favor of Purchase College. Timeout called by Jason Madsen of the Dolphins. So I'm going to take a look here at the set-by-set breakdown for the attack of each team. And the numbers really do tell the story. It's quite simple. The team that has come away with more kills and fewer errors has been the team to win all 3 sets. And it's a very simple analysis, but unfortunately that corresponds with my knowledge of the game of volleyball at the moment. So looking here at the statistics, in set 1, set 2, and set 3, it was the Dolphins who outkilled the Panthers 11-10 and committed 2 fewer errors. The Panthers committing 7 and the Dolphins committing 5. The Dolphins, of course, won the first set. The Panthers outkilled the Dolphins 14-5 in the second set, committed 4 fewer errors. Dolphins committing 7 errors, the Panthers committing 3 in set number 2. As we resume action, and served by Kevin Kargas will go down as a service ace. So the Panthers now with their largest lead of the fourth set. Once again, they continue to build upon largest leads of this set. Score 11-5 as Kargas sees his serve smack right off the net, landing in front of his team's front lines. Just quickly completing the breakdown, set-by-set breakdown. The Dolphins outkilled the Panthers 13-10 in set number 3 and committed 2 fewer errors. So those numbers clearly demonstrating that the team that has played mistake-free and been more successful on the attack is the team that will likely come away with each set. As the Dolphins find themselves in a 6-point hole in this fourth set, the Panthers continuing to build upon their lead. 6 is their largest lead of the fourth set. The serve by Griffin Rapp, quickly sent back over toward the Panthers, but the Dolphins didn't handle it well, and the point goes to Purchase once again, as errors around the net have been an issue for both teams in this match. The score now 13-7 in this fourth set as a service error is committed by Griffin Rapp. Point goes to the Dolphins. They break the momentum of the Panthers, who are on a run there, and it will be Daniil Kukovitsky who sees his serve handled by the back line of the Panthers. And off that set, Luke Kubish sent one well beyond the back line. That one cleared the boundary by a good 10 feet. Back-to-back points awarded to the Dolphins. The score now 13-8. And Kukovitsky commits the service error, and that's something the Dolphins did not need, something that they've done a good job staying away from so far in this match. The Dolphins had only committed 3 service errors through the first 3 sets, and now it's Andrew Schwab serving for Purchase. Set at the net by El Haddad. However, the Dolphin attack was blocked, and the point goes to the Panthers, who now lead 15-8 as they look to force a 5th set here in this match. Andrew Schwab serving once again. And Schwab sends a rocket of a serve well over the back line, clear the boundary by a wide margin once again. Panthers' lead is trimmed to 6 after the Dolphins pick up that point. Our score is 15-9. Adil El Haddad sees his serve handled by Riley DeMerrill. It's set by Andrew Schwab for Andrea Otignano. And Brandon Lay on the other side is charged with a ball handling error as he attempted to set the ball for, I believe, Jay Guo. That error sends the Panthers' lead back up to 7. And Andrea Otignano serving for Purchase. And that one will result in a Panthers point, an error charged right by the net to Adil El Haddad, who attempted to set that one up for Mark Palencia. Otignano serving once again, handled along the back line by Ronald Tisby. Brandon Lay sends it over, set by Andrew Schwab for Luke Kubish, and Kubish made no mistakes with that one. He picks up the kill, and the Panthers now have the Dolphins doubled up here in this fourth set. Our score 18-9 in favor of the Panthers. So the Panthers coming out strong here in this fourth set and really have not looked back. The first three sets were back and forth early, and in the first set the Dolphins took control. Later in the second set, it was the Panthers who took control late. And the third set, generally back and forth throughout. So this fourth set, with the Panthers running away with it here, very uncharacteristic of what this match has been so far. Each team has only been able to pull away really late in sets. We haven't seen many deficits like this. And it is the Dolphins who face that deficit, a 9-point deficit. We get set to resume action in set number 4. Andrea Otignano will be serving in just a few moments as the referee blows the whistle. And the action picks up once again from the Sports and Recreation Center. Adil El-Haddad sets for Brandon Lay, and his attack was blocked up front by the Panthers, who now lead by 10. I believe 10 is either the largest lead for either of these teams tonight or matches the largest lead for either team. Brandon Lay sends it back towards Purchase. Luke Kubish bumps it up in the air for Kevin Kargas, but Kargas did not clear the net with that attack, and the error gives service back to the Dolphins, trailing by 9. It will take quite a run here for CSI in this fourth set to make it competitive, as this match has been so far. And it is a kill for Luke Kubish on that attack. Ronald Tisby could not handle it, as we will have a substitution for Purchase. Giovanni Spadaro checks in, replacing Luke Kubish. So the Panthers back up by 10. And they are drawing closer and closer to a victory in this fourth set. El-Haddad sets for Vigilante, and he drops an attack in right in the middle of 6 Purchase players. And a well-placed attack by Anthony Vigilante allows him to pick up the kill. And Vigilante will quickly take a seat as he is replaced by Steven Caruso, who will be serving for CSI. Caruso's serve handled by Otignano. And the set by Andrew Schwab results in yet another kill for Kevin Kargas. And that extends the Panthers' lead back up to 10. Score is 21-11 here in this fourth set. And a fifth set is not something we've seen too often here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Riley DeMerrill serving for the Panthers. It's dug out by the Dolphins, set by El-Haddad for Palencia, and Mark Palencia picks up yet another kill, adding to his team leading total for this match and for the season. The Dolphins trim the deficit back down to 9. It's 21-12 in favor of CSI. Brandon Lay serving. Set by Riley DeMerrill for Andrew Schwab, who completely took out Brandon Lay with that heavy attack. Lay didn't stand a chance there. Dolphins trail by 10 once again. Our score 22-12. Kevin Kargas serving for Purchase College. Ronald Tisby handles it. El-Haddad sets for Kukovitsky. And DeMerrill sets for Kargas. Jay Guo got an arm on it. Mark Palencia sets it up for him. He sends it over. And Andrew Schwab with a well-placed attack along the far boundary near the top of your screen. And that extends the Panthers' lead to 11. Our score 23-12. The Panthers now within 2 points of forcing a set number 5. Strong serve by Kevin Kargas, handled by Jake Woe, set by El-Haddad for Mark Palencia. It's dug out by the Panthers. And DeMerrill sets for Andrew Schwab, but Schwab sends his attack over and out of play near the bottom of your screen. So the point goes to the Dolphins. Serve to Jay Guo. Set by Schwab for Kargas. And the point goes to the Panthers. It looked like the Dolphins were expecting some sort of error to be called. It looked as if they were just standing around on that play. Regardless, that draws the Panthers to within 1 point of a victory here in this fourth set. And should they close it out, we will have a fifth set here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Ball on the Panther side of the net right now. They send it back over to the Dolphins. Set up by El Haddad for Mark Palencia. It's dug out by Griffin Rapp. But the point goes to the Dolphins as that one ricocheted around a bunch of Panthers before traveling over to the Dolphins side of the net. Ethan Huang did return for the Panthers, replacing Griffin Rapp, but they'll both remain on the sidelines for a little bit more than just a moment as that service error committed by the Dolphins wraps up this fourth set. Our final score in set 4, the Panthers 25 and the Dolphins 14. So we will have a fifth set of volleyball here tonight at the Sports and Recreation Center. Not something that we've seen too often here. It's been a lot of one-sided affairs so far this season. It's actually been 4 one-sided affairs, including 2 here at the Sports and Recreation Center. In their first match of the season here at home, the Dolphins fell to LaSalle College 3-0. In their second home match and second match of the season, the Dolphins fell here at home 3-0 at the hands of NJCU. And then as part of a tri-match on the road, the Dolphins picked up a 3-0 victory over Medgar Evers College and fell to Brooklyn College 3-0. So the Dolphins hadn't seen a fourth set this year, let alone a fifth set. They're definitely a stranger, or definitely are strangers to 5 sets of volleyball, whether it be in victory or defeat. So one more set coming up from the Sports and Recreation Center here tonight. Dolphins and Panthers knotted up at 2 sets apiece. I now have some official stats for you through 4 sets of play. Now correctly reading the stats as cumulative rather than set by set, so I can give you some accurate numbers for the match so far. No surprise here, Mark Palencia leading the Dolphins in kills with 15. A tremendous performance for him here tonight. He's done a great job for CSI, attacking at over a 24% rate, so great job by Mark Palencia. Adil El Haddad with 27 assists for CSI. So he's done his job in facilitating offense and setting up his teammates. As for the Panthers, Kevin Kargas with 16 kills through 4 sets. Andrew Schwab with 13 kills through 4 sets. Luke Kubish has also done a good job for the Panthers. He has 8 kills. The Panthers, however, do have a pair of players with at least 16 assists as well. Riley DeMerrill has 16 assists for Purchase, and Andrew Schwab comes into the 5th set having tallied up 24 assists. And back to the point that I was making in the 3rd set during one of the timeouts, it's been the team that's been more successful on the attack and committed fewer errors that has won each set. In that 4th set, the Panthers came away with 14 kills as opposed to only 4 for the Dolphins. The Dolphins committed 5 errors, and the Panthers committed 6. So the Panthers able to overcome a disparity in assists, albeit only a 1 assist disparity between them and the Dolphins, by tallying up 10 more kills than CSI. And those will be numbers to look at as we enter the 4th set. Adil El Haddad serving for CSI. Andrew Schwab sets for Riley DeMerrill. It's dug out by the Dolphins. But the Dolphins missed playing that one as it was bumped up into the air by CSI, and then no Dolphin was there to make a play on that ball as it fell in between the 6 Dolphin players. So Andrea Otignano will serve for Purchase as Adil El Haddad sets for Mark Palencia. Dug out by Purchase. And it's Kevin Kargas picking up the kill for the Panthers once again. They jump out to a 2-0 lead here in set number 5. Kargas just picked up his 17th kill on the night. Andrea Otignano serves. It's bumped up in the air there by Mark Palencia, sent over by Jay Guo. And I get my first touch of the evening as that one bounces over towards us off the hands of a purchased player. Score now 2-1 in favor of the Panthers. Mark Palencia serving for the Dolphins. It's handled by Kevin Kargas, bumped up in the air by Andrew Schwab. Riley DeMerrill with a heavy attack, dug out by the Dolphins, sent back over the net to Kevin Kargas, who was there waiting, and his heavy attack picks up the kill. That is his 18th on the night, his second here in this third set, and the Panthers lead 3-1. And Giovanni Spadaro commits the service error. That is his 4th of the night. And Luke Kubish will replace him as Steven Caruso replaces Anthony Vigilante. It will be Caruso serving for CSI. They trail by a single point. Our score 3-2 early in this 5th set. Caruso serve, handled by Otignano. It's bumped up in the air by Schwab, sent over by DeMerrill. The Dolphins scramble to send it back the other way, and then the Panthers are forced to scramble in an effort to send it back towards the Dolphins. They could not do so, and the score is now knotted up at 3. Steven Caruso will serve once again for CSI. Caruso serve, bumped up into the air by Otignano, and I believe an error was charged on a block attempt by the Dolphins up front. That blocking error leads to a 4-3 Panthers lead as Vigilante checks back in for Caruso. But for the moment, both of them will take a seat on the bench as serve belongs to the Panthers. El Haddad sets for Palencia. His attack is dug out. Schwab now sets for Kevin Kargas, who has yet another kill. He's done a great job tonight for the Panthers. They now lead 5-3. Riley DeMerrill serving for Purchase College, and he commits the service error. That is his 1st of the night, but serve now belongs to the Dolphins. As a result, it is Brandon Lay. Lay's serve handled by Purchase, set up by DeMerrill for Kargas, but his attack well outside the boundaries. And that will even up our score at 5-5 here in set number 5. A back and forth affair early in this 5th set as both teams look to pick up a victory here in this match. Andrew Schwab's attack was partially blocked by Kukovitsky. The ball ricochets up into the air. It's sent over by Ronald Tisby. Riley DeMerrill sets for Kevin Kargas, and he picks up the kill once again, as Kargas has had quite a night for the Panthers. He's really taken over the early portion of this 5th set for Purchase College. Purchase looking to improve to 4-2. The Dolphins looking to improve to 2-3. Our score is 6-5. Kargas serving. Handled by Ronald Tisby. Adil Haddad forced to lay out and bump it up into the air. Kukovitsky sends it back over. And on the attack for the Panthers, it's Andrew Schwab who picks up the kill. The Panthers extend their lead back to 2. Our score now 7-5. A good effort there by the Dolphins to keep that sequence alive, but they could not come away with the point. Kevin Kargas serves once again. And Adil El Haddad sets for Daniil Kukovitsky, who sees his attack travel over the back line. Our score now 8-5 here in this 5th set as the two teams will switch sides. And as the teams were taking their positions on the floor, Dolphins head coach Jason Madsen calls a timeout And here in this third set, what he needs to be, or maybe talking to his team about, is finding a way to prevent Kevin Kargas from coming up with so many of these heavy attacks that go unblocked at the net. It's a tough task to block those sort of attacks, but the Dolphins really haven't had an answer for Kargas the entire night. Mark Palencia has also given the Panthers fits in this match, but he's been quiet so far here early in this fifth set. The Dolphins will be looking to him as they hope to pick up a victory here in set number 5 and improve their record on the season to 2-3. It's a winner-take-all fifth set here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Dolphins trail 8-5. Serve belongs to Kevin Kargas of the Panthers. And the horn sounds, so we will get set to resume action. Kargas serves. Handled by the back line of the Dolphins. Set by El Haddad for Palencia. And Mark Palencia wins service back for the Dolphins with that kill. And immediately after mentioning the need for Palencia to keep up his stellar play on the attack, he does just that and picks up the kill, trimming the deficit to 2 points. Dolphins trailing the Panthers 8-6. Jay Guo serving for CSI. It's handled by the Panthers, set by Riley DeMerrill for Andrew Schwab, and it ricochets off the fingertips of Mark Palencia, who attempted to block that attack at the net. He could not do so. Point goes to Purchase. Their lead goes right back up to 3. As we will have a substitution, it will be Griffin Rapp for Ethan Huang. As El Haddad sets for Palencia, and Andrew Schwab with a strong block up front at the net. That's the man you need to stop. If you're the Panthers, Mark Palencia, it has been Palencia leading the attack tonight for the Dolphins, and Andrew Schwab coming up big there. And in this fifth set, he and Kevin Kargas have been leading the way for the Panthers here tonight. Kargas came into this fourth set with 16 kills. He's already picked up several more. And Schwab came into this fourth set with 13 kills. He picked up the block right there. On the match for the Panthers, they have blocked 10 Dolphin attacks. However, the Dolphins have blocked a pair. Or I should say, total team blocks for the Dolphins is 6. Total for the Panthers is also 6. I clearly not reading these stats correctly, as I'm very unfamiliar with these box scores. So the Dolphins will receive the serve from the Panthers as Andrew Schwab sets for Kevin Kargas. It's dug out by the Dolphins. El Haddad sets for Mark Palencia, who picks up the kill. And the kill is a stat I am very familiar with, as the Dolphins pick up the point and trim the deficit to 3. I'm going to have to get a crash course in reading our statistics following this broadcast. That way I can do so correctly and provide better stats for you next time, as Andrew Schwab picks up the kill. Daniil Kukovitsky let it go along the back line. He's frustrated with himself as Andrew Schwab picks up yet another kill. Serve now belongs to the Panthers, leading 11-7. El Haddad sets for Palencia, and Palencia picks up another kill. So Mark Palencia continuing his stellar play. The Dolphins will need more of that if they're going to make a comeback here in this fifth set. The deficit only 3, and we're still early here in this fifth set. We're not even halfway there. As Schwab sets for Riley DeMerrill. That one is blocked by the Dolphins up front, and they have trimmed the Purchase lead to 2. So the Dolphins making a bit of a run out of that most recent timeout called by Jason Madsen. It is Adil El Haddad serving. Handled by Kevin Kargas, set by Andrew Schwab. And that one is ruled inbounds within the boundaries along the corner along the right side of your screen towards the bottom. It hit the lines judge, but ruled in by the referee. Score now 12-9. Andrea Otignano serves to the Dolphins. And El Haddad sets for Mark Palencia, who weakly attacks. Riley DeMero with a much heavier attack back towards the Dolphins. It's handled. They send it back the other way, bumped up by Kubish over to Schwab, who set up Kevin Kargas, and Kargas picks up yet another kill. That ball ricocheted off the fingertips of a Dolphin. Dolphins now trail by 4 again, as after a brief run, it is the Panthers who have regained momentum. Otignano's serve handled by the Dolphins. It's set up for Palencia by El Haddad. It remains on the Panthers side of the net, and the point will go to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins have trimmed the deficit to 3 once again. The Panthers jumped out to a lead here in this 5th set, but the Dolphins have responded, not allowing them to increase that lead. And that is a critical error committed by Mark Palencia on that serve. That is his 2nd service error, and he is visibly frustrated with himself as serve is right back with the Panthers. It will be Giovanni Spadaro serving. El Haddad sets for Vigilante. And Spadaro wisely lets that one go. It's outside the boundary. The teams will switch sides once again, but a smart heads-up play there by Giovanni Spadaro. And here in this 5th set, that will wrap things up as the Purchase Panthers have picked up a 5th set victory by a final score of 15-10. And once again, I demonstrate my lack of familiarity with the game of volleyball, not realizing that the set comes to an end at 15 points rather than 25. Once again, I apologize for my lack of familiarity with the game. I'm learning on the job here, but I thank you for bearing with me and following us here on CSI Sportsnet tonight. Our final score through 5 sets, the Panthers 15 and the Dolphins 10. I may have some final stats for you in just a moment, so I'll stay with you here on CSI Sportsnet as we await whether or not we will have final stats for tonight's match. The Dolphins fall to 1-4 on the season, and the Panthers improve to 4-2 with their 5-set victory here tonight, 3-2 over the Dolphins. But standouts for the Dolphins tonight included Mark Palencia, who did a great job for CSI through 4 sets. He had 15 kills for CSI. He picked up a couple more in that 4th set, but it was Kevin Kargas and Andrew Schwab who proved too much for CSI to handle tonight, as they entered the 4th set with 16 and 13 kills respectively. They added to that total in set number 5 en route to a 15-10 set 5 victory over the Dolphins, who, as I mentioned before, fell to 1-4 on the season. Purchase improves to 3-2. The Dolphins will be in action once again 2 days from now, as they will take on Sarah Lawrence College and New Jersey City University as part of a tri-match on the road. That tri-match begins at 1 p.m. And it doesn't appear as if, oh, actually it looks like we are going to have some final statistics for you. So I'll give you a quick rundown of the final stats in just a few moments as we await those. Dolphins fall in 5 sets to the Panthers by a score of 15-10. Dolphins 1-4 on the season. Panthers 4-2. And I apologize, it doesn't appear as if we will have final stats for you. So instead of dragging this on, we thank you for watching. It was an entertaining night of volleyball here at the Sports and Recreation Center. The Dolphins with a very strong showing, and unfortunately they fell in 5 sets to the Panthers, but nothing for the Dolphins to be upset about here tonight. They put forth a strong effort, and however, it was the Panthers who came away with the victory in 5 sets. So this has been Joe Foreman for CSI Sportsnet. From all of us here at the Sports and Recreation Center, we thank you for watching. Our final score in 5 sets the Panthers 3 sets to the Dolphins 2. This has been a presentation of CSI Sportsnet here on CSIDolphins.com. And just one final reminder that we will have our men's and women's basketball teams playing in the CUNYAC Championship tomorrow. I don't believe those games will be available on CSI Sportsnet, but you can join us at CCNY by taking the fan bus out to CCNY. That bus will depart from the College of Staten Island tomorrow at 4 p.m. You can also claim free tickets to the CUNYAC Championship online at the official CUNYAC website. So be sure to follow our men and women in the CUNYAC basketball final tomorrow. Once again, thank you for watching, everyone, and have a good night.